The alarm blared through Earth Defense Force headquarters. Commander Kim looked up from his desk, his coffee forgotten. Red lights flashed along the walls. This was not a drill. "Report," he said, standing up. His assistant, Officer Han, rushed into the room. "Sir, we have unknown ships entering the solar system. They passed the outer sensor ring 5 minutes ago." Kim walked quickly to the main control room. Large screens showed the solar system map. Strange red dots moved toward the inner planets. "How many ships?" he asked. 23 large vessels, sir, and many smaller ones," said the sensor officer. Kim studied the screen. The alien fleet was heading straight for Europa, Jupiter's moon. The mining colony there had 5,000 people. They needed help. "Send a message to the aliens. Try all frequencies." The communications officer tried for 10 minutes. "No response. Sir, they're ignoring us." Kim made his decision. "Alert all Earth defense units. Get the main fleet ready." He turned to his second-in-command. "How fast can we get the whole fleet to Europa?" 3 days at emergency speed, sir." Kim shook his head. "Too long. The colony will be gone by then." He thought for a moment. "What ships do we have closer?" "The scout ship Thunder is near Mars. It could reach Europa in 10 hours. "How many troops on board?" 15, sir. Lieutenant Park's unit." Kim nodded. "Send them. Tell Park to assess the threat and protect the civilians if possible. The main fleet will follow as soon as we can." Lieutenant Park stood on the bridge of the Thunder, reading Commander Kim's orders. Park was 32 years old, with short, black hair and serious eyes. He had been a scout for 7 years. "So we're the first to meet aliens," said Sergeant Lee, his weapons officer. She was checking her rifle as she spoke. "Looks that way," Park said. "And they're not friendly." The 15 soldiers gathered in the meeting room. They were all experienced scouts. They wore standard gray combat suits that could protect against most weapons and extreme conditions. "Here's what we know," Park told them. "Unknown aliens are heading to Europa. They're not answering our messages. We have to find out what they want and help the colony if needed." "Just the 15 of us against an alien fleet?" asked Corporal Choi. "Those are bad odds." Park smiled slightly. "We're not here to fight a war, we're scouts. We gather information and help civilians. The main fleet is coming." "How long until the main fleet arrives?" Lee asked. 3 days after. Us. The room was quiet. Everyone understood what that meant. If the aliens attacked, 15 scouts would have to hold off an entire fleet for 3 days. "Get ready," Park said. "We reach Europa in 9 hours. On the largest alien ship, Fleet Commander Grax looked at the image of Europa on the big screen. He stood 7 feet tall, with gray skin and 4 eyes. His armor was decorated with symbols of past victories. "This human colony will fall easily," he said to his officers. "Our spies say humans are physically weak. Their technology is simple." Sub-Commander Velk looked less sure. He was younger than Grax, with fewer victory marks on his armor. "Commander, we should be careful," Velk said. "The reports also say humans are unpredictable." Grax laughed. His large teeth showed. "Unpredictable? The Taric Imperium has conquered 12 worlds, Velk. None could stand against us. These humans will be the 13th. But sir, the information from our spies is clear," Grax interrupted. "Humans have only been in space for 200 years. Their weapons are primitive. Their bodies are soft." He pointed at the colony on the screen. "We will take this outpost, then their home world. The Emperor will be pleased." Velk wanted to say more, but kept quiet. It was not good to argue with Grax when he was like this. Grax turned to his battle. "Commander, send the 1st Battalion to secure the colony. 1,000 warriors should be more than enough." On Europa, Colony Director Bay looked at the emergency message from Earth. Aliens were coming. Help would not arrive for at least 10 hours. "Begin evacuation to the emergency shelters," she ordered. "Get everyone underground." The 5,000 colonists moved quickly. They had drilled for emergencies before. Within 2 hours, most people were in the deep shelters beneath the colony's main buildings. Director Bay stayed in the control center with her staff. Any sign of them yet? Yes, said her assistant, pointing at the radar. Many ships entering orbit. They watched as smaller ships left the big alien vessels and flew down to the colony. The ships landed at the edges of the settlement. They're here, Bay said quietly. She activated the emergency broadcast. This is not a drill. All personnel remain in shelters. This is not a drill. The Thunder approached Europa carefully, staying hidden behind one of Jupiter's smaller moons. Scan the colony, Park ordered. Alien ships all around the settlement, reported the sensor officer. I count 15 large landing craft. The colony's defense shields are active, but they won't last long against that many attackers. Park studied the situation. His orders were to assess and report. The smart move would be to stay hidden, watch the aliens, and wait for the main fleet. But 5,000 civilians were down there. Sergeant Lee, Corporal Choi, meet me in the planning room, he said. I think we need to adjust our mission. In the planning room, Park showed them the colony map. The aliens have surrounded the main settlement but haven't broken through the shields yet. They don't seem to be in a hurry. They think they have time, Lee said. They don't know we're here. Or that the main fleet is coming, added Choi. Park nodded. We have surprise on our side. I propose we land here at the emergency dock. He pointed to a small landing pad hidden in the colony's industrial section. It has its own shield generator. We can get in without the aliens seeing us. And then what? Lee asked. 15 of us can't fight an alien army. We don't have to win, Park said. We just need to buy time and gather information about their weapons and tactics. Every bit of data we collect will help the main fleet when it arrives. Choi looked skeptical. That's a suicide mission, sir. Not if we're smart, Park replied. We're scouts. We hit fast, move fast, and never stay in one place. We help evacuate as many civilians as we can to the deeper shelters. And we learn everything possible about these aliens. Lee nodded slowly. It could work if we're careful. We'll split into 3 teams, Park continued. Team Alpha with me will create distractions. Team Beta under Sergeant Lee will help with civilian evacuation. Team Gamma with Corporal Choi will find high ground and provide cover fire. What about the Thunder? Choi asked. Once we're on the ground, it will hide in Jupiter's radiation belt. If things go very bad, it's our escape route. The 3 officers looked at each other. The plan was dangerous, but it was better than doing nothing. Let's move, Park said. We land in 30 minutes. Fleet Commander Grax watched the human colony from his ship. His 1st Battalion had landed and surrounded the settlement. Their shields are weak, his battle commander reported. We can break through whenever you order. Excellent, Grax said. Begin the attack. Show no mercy. As he gave the order, Grax didn't know that a small human scout ship was landing on the other side of the colony. He didn't know that 15 human soldiers were preparing to fight his 1,000 warriors. He didn't know that his easy victory was about to become a nightmare. Commander, Grax was about to learn why humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The Thunder landed quietly at the emergency dock. Lieutenant Park and his 14 soldiers moved out quickly. The colony was eerily quiet. Teams, check in, Park said into his comm unit. Team Beta ready, replied Sergeant Lee. She and 4 soldiers would help evacuate civilians. Team Gamma in position, said Corporal Choi. He and 4 soldiers had found a tall building with a good view of the colony. Team Alpha moving out, Park confirmed. He and 4 soldiers would create distractions to draw alien attention. They saw the first aliens as they turned a corner. The creatures were tall, with gray skin and 4 eyes. They wore heavy armor and carried large guns. 5 aliens were breaking into a storage building. Park signaled his team to stop. They watched the aliens from behind a damaged wall. They're big, whispered one of his soldiers. Park nodded. The aliens were at least 7 feet tall and looked very strong. This would not be an easy fight. Remember, we're here to gather information and buy time, Park said. Let's watch them first. The aliens moved in a tight formation. They seemed well-trained but rigid in their movements. They didn't check corners or watch for ambushes. They acted like they weren't worried about resistance. Park smiled slightly. Overconfidence was a weakness his team could use. Team Alpha. We have 5 targets at Building C3, he said into his comm. We're going to test their reactions. Get ready to move fast. Park took out a flash grenade. He threw it into the middle of the alien group. The explosion was blinding. The aliens roared in pain and confusion. Fire! Park ordered. His team shot with perfect aim. 2 aliens fell immediately. The others tried to return fire, but Park's team was already moving to a new position. Keep moving, Park ordered as they ran through the buildings. Don't stay still. In the colony's main shelter, Sergeant Lee found Director Bay organizing the frightened colonists. Earth Defense Force, Lee said, showing her ID. We're here to help. Bay looked shocked. Just 5 of you? Our ship arrived early. The main fleet is coming, but we need to hold out for 3 days. Bay nodded grimly. We have 5,000 people here. The upper shelters won't protect them if the aliens break through. We need to move everyone deeper, Lee said. She pointed to her map. These mining tunnels go down 2 miles. They'll be safer there. Those tunnels aren't finished, Bay warned, and some areas aren't stable. It's still safer than here. The aliens are breaking through the colony shields. Bay made her decision. We'll start moving people now. As they organized the evacuation, Lee noticed the colony's communication system. Does that still work? Yes, it connects to all colony speakers, Bay said. Lee had an idea. Can it broadcast on all frequencies at once, at maximum volume? Bay looked puzzled but nodded. Yes, but why would you want... I need to test something, Lee interrupted. She turned to her team. Help with the evacuation. I'm going to try something with the comm system. From his position on top of the tallest building, Corporal Choi watched the alien forces through his sniper scope. The aliens were breaking through the colony's outer shields. Hundreds of them marched in perfect lines. They move like they're on parade, not in battle, Choi said to his team. No covering fire, no scouting ahead. They don't expect resistance, said one of his soldiers. Choi focused his scope on a group of aliens with different armor. They stood behind the main forces, giving orders. I think I found their officers, Choi said. About 500 yards from the main gate. They're staying back from the fighting. Typical, another soldier muttered. Sending others to die first. Choi made quick calculations in his head. Wind speed, gravity on Europa, the alien's height. He adjusted his rifle. I'm going to take out their leaders, he said. The rest of you target any alien with special markings or different equipment. Ready? Fire. 5 shots rang out. 5 alien officers fell. The alien forces erupted in confusion. Without their leaders, they didn't know what to do. Some ran for cover. Others fired randomly. Move positions, Choi ordered. 3 buildings east, they'll trace our shots. His team packed up quickly and ran to the next building. They were setting up again when they heard a strange, high-pitched noise through the colony speakers. Choi watched through his scope as the aliens dropped their weapons and grabbed their heads in pain. What is that noise? One of his soldiers asked, wincing. I don't know, Choi replied. But it's hurting them more than us. Sergeant Lee must have found a weakness. On the Tarek command ship, Fleet Commander Grax couldn't believe the reports coming in. What do you mean, under attack? He roared at the communication officer. It's a mining colony. They have no military. Sir, Battalion Commander Drez is dead, the officer reported nervously. And 4 other officers as well. Snipers, sir. And the sonic attack is disabling our warriors, added another officer. The frequency hurts our hearing organs. They can't fight while it's happening. Grax slammed his fist down. How many human soldiers are attacking us? We don't know, sir. They move too fast. They hit in one place, then another. They never stay. To fight. Sub-Commander Velk spoke up. Sir, we should pull back and reassess. These humans are using tactics we haven't seen before. Retreat? From humans? Grax was furious. Never. Send in the 2nd Battalion. Crush them with numbers. Lieutenant Park and his team moved through the colony like ghosts. They attacked alien groups, then disappeared before reinforcements arrived. Lieutenant, we have a problem, came Sergeant Lee's voice over the comm. I've got most civilians moving to the deep tunnels, but the aliens are getting close to the main shelter entrance. We'll draw them away, Park replied. Corporal Choi, can your team provide covering fire? Ready when you are, Choi confirmed. Park led his team toward the largest group of aliens. Ready the explosive charges, he ordered. We'll plant them on those fuel tanks. They moved quietly, placing explosives on the colony's fuel storage area. When they finished, Park's team ran to a safe distance. Fire in the hole, Park said as he pressed the detonator. The explosion was enormous. Flames shot into the air. The wham noise echoed through the colony. As expected, most of the aliens ran toward the explosion. They moved in tight formation like they were trained to do. Now, Choi, Park ordered. Sniper fire rained down on the aliens from 3 different positions. The aliens couldn't tell where the shots were coming from. They tried to take cover, but there were too many of them packed together. They made easy targets. At the same time, the painful sound blasted again from the colony speakers. The aliens dropped to the ground, covering their ears. It's working, Lee reported. The civilians are getting to the deep tunnels. The aliens aren't even looking this way. Park checked his tactical map. His 15 soldiers had killed over 50 aliens and disabled many more, but hundreds of new aliens were landing at the colony edge. This is just the beginning, he told his team. We've surprised them, but they'll adapt. We need to keep moving, keep changing tactics. Remember your training. His soldiers nodded. They were tired, but determined. They were Earth's first line of defense against an alien invasion. In his command ship, Fleet Commander Grax was getting angrier by the minute. Half his 1st Battalion was dead or injured. His best officers were gone, and he still didn't know how many human soldiers he was fighting. Find them, he shouted at his officers. Find these humans and crush them. What Grax didn't know was that his mighty Terran Imperium, conqueror of 12 worlds, was being defeated by just 15 human scouts. The real battle had only just begun. 20 hours had passed since the human scouts arrived on Europa. The fighting had not stopped. Lieutenant Park sat in a hidden maintenance room checking his team's status. He was tired, but focused. Report, he said into his comm unit. Team, Beta here, Sergeant Lee responded. All civilians are now in the deep tunnels. We've set up defenses at the tunnel entrances. 3 of my team are injured but still fighting. Team Gamma, Corporal Choi called in. We've changed position 12 times. The aliens are trying to find us, but we keep moving. We've taken out 23 officers so far. Park nodded to himself. Team Alpha has placed charges throughout the abandoned sections of the colony. We're ready for the next phase. He opened his tactical map. The situation was both better and worse than expected. Better because his small team had killed over 100 aliens and disrupted their attack. Worse because the Terrak had landed their 2nd Battalion. There were now almost 2,000 alien warriors in the colony. Park sent a secure message to Commander Kim. The message contained combat data about the Terrak, their weapons, armor, tactics, and weaknesses. This information would help the main fleet when it arrived. Commander Kim responded. Park told his team. The main fleet has increased speed. They'll be here in 36 hours, not 72. That's good news, Lee said. But can we hold out that long? Park looked at his tactical map again. We don't need to defeat them, we just need to keep them busy and protect the civilians. The aliens are learning, Choi warned. They've started to wear hearing protection against our sonic attacks, and they're moving in smaller groups now. Park had noticed this too. The Terrak were adapting. His team needed a new plan. It's time for Phase 2, he decided. We can't beat them in a direct fight, so we'll change the battlefield. Sergeant Lee, are all civilians clear of the main colony? Yes, everyone is in the deep tunnels now, Lee confirmed. Good. All teams, return to Rally Point Delta. We're going to collapse the colony on top of the aliens. On his command ship, Fleet, Commander Grax stared at the battle reports in disbelief. His 1st Battalion was in ruins. His officers were being picked off one by one. His warriors were afraid to move in large groups. This is impossible, he growled. How many human soldiers are we fighting? We don't know, sir, his new battle commander admitted. They move too quickly to count. They could be hundreds or thousands. Sub-Commander Velk studied the colony scans. Sir, I have a theory. The The humans might be using teleportation technology. That would explain how they appear and disappear so quickly. Grax's 4 eyes widened. Teleportation? Our intelligence said. Humans don't have that technology. Our intelligence was clearly wrong about many things, Velk said carefully. Grax paced the command deck. He had told the Emperor this would be an easy conquest. Now he was losing to an enemy he couldn't even count. The 2nd Battalion is fully deployed, the battle commander reported. They're searching the colony section by section. They'll find the humans eventually. Sir, called the sensor officer suddenly. The humans are gathering at the center of the colony. Grax rushed to the screen. We have them. Order all forces to converge on that location. Crush them. Velk looked concerned. Sir, it could be a trap. I don't care, Grax shouted. I want those humans dead. At Rally Point Delta, Park's team gathered quickly. They looked tired but determined. Their armor was damaged from fighting, but their eyes were still sharp. The charges are set throughout the colony, Park told them. When we detonate them, the main support structures will collapse. Most of the colony will fall in on itself. That should take out a lot of the aliens, Lee said, and give us cover to escape, added Choi. Park nodded. The Thunder is standing by to pick us up at exit, Point Epsilon. It's a maintenance tunnel 2 miles from here. What about the civilians? Asked one of the soldiers. They're safe in the deep mining tunnels, Lee assured him. Those tunnels are reinforced and won't collapse. Park checked his map one last time. The aliens are taking the bait. They're moving toward our position from all directions. Then we should go, Choi said, before they surround us. One more thing first, Park said. He activated his comm unit. This is Lieutenant Park to all teams. Send all combat data to the Thunder. Make sure nothing is lost. The soldiers uploaded their helmet recordings and sensor readings. This information would be crucial for Earth's defense. Data transfer complete, Lee reported. Good, Park said. Let's move out, quietly. The 15 scouts moved through hidden maintenance tunnels beneath the colony. These tunnels were narrow and dark. Perfect for humans, but too small for the larger Terek warriors. When they were halfway to the exit point, Park stopped. The aliens are directly above us, he said, checking his scanner. This is the perfect time. He took out the detonator. Fire in the hole. The explosion was massive. The ground shook violently. Dust filled the tunnels. The noise was deafening, even through their helmets. Above them, the colony collapsed. Buildings fell, support beams broke. Floors crashed down on top of each other, and hundreds of Terek warriors were caught in the destruction. Keep moving, Park ordered as aftershocks rattled the tunnels. We have 10 minutes before these maintenance tunnels collapse too. The team ran as fast as they could. Behind them, sections of tunnel began to cave in. In his command ship, Fleet Commander Grax watched in horror as the colony imploded. The screens showed massive destruction. Emergency signals from his warriors flooded the communication system. How many casualties? He demanded. The battle commander's voice was shaking. At least 500 warriors were in the colony center when it collapsed, maybe more. And the humans? We don't know, sir. Our sensors can't penetrate the debris. Grax roared in anger. 500 elite Terek warriors, killed by a collapsing building. It was not the glorious battle he had promised. Sir, Velk said urgently. Our sensors detect a small ship launching from the far side of the colony. Grax turned to the screen. A tiny human vessel was racing away from Europa. Shoot it down, he ordered. Don't let them escape. The Terek ships fired at the small human vessel, but it was fast and nimble. It dodged the shots and disappeared behind Jupiter's moon Io. We lost them, sir, the sensor officer reported. Grax slammed his fist on the console. Find them, sir, Velk said carefully. I think we should consider a larger problem. Those humans were obviously sending information back to Earth. Their main fleet could be on its way. Grax hadn't thought of that. He had been so focused on catching the humans that he forgot why they were fighting. These humans were scouts. Their job was to gather information and report back. How much did they learn about us? He wondered aloud. Our weapons, our tactics, our weaknesses. Enough to give their fleet an advantage, Velk said grimly. Grax made a decision. Prepare all ships for battle. If the human fleet comes, we will be ready. What Grax didn't know was that it was already too late. Lieutenant Park and his scouts had sent everything they learned to Earth. The human fleet was coming, and they knew exactly how to fight the Terek. The Thunder raced through Jupiter's complex moon system. Lieutenant Park and his team had escaped the collapsing colony, but 3 Terek ships were chasing them. Engine status? Park asked his pilot. Running at 110%, sir. We can't push them any harder. Park nodded. The Thunder was a scout ship, built for speed and stealth, not combat. They couldn't fight 3 alien warships. Take us into the radiation belt, Park ordered. Their sensors won't work well there. The pilot looked worried. Our shields won't hold long in that radiation, sir. They don't need to. Commander Kim's fleet will be here in 30 hours. We just need to hide until then. The Thunder dove into Jupiter's intense radiation belt. The ship shook as radiation particles hit the shields. Warning lights flashed on the control panels. The 3 Terek ships stopped at the edge of the radiation belt. They fired blindly into the radiation, hoping to hit the human ship. They're afraid to follow us, Sergeant Lee observed. Park smiled, slightly. Their ships are bigger than ours. They have more to lose from the radiation. The crew of the Thunder watched tensely as the alien ships circled the radiation belt. After an hour, the Terek vessels gave up and returned to their main fleet. Good work, everyone, Park said to his tired team. We'll stay here for 24 hours, then make a run to meet Commander Kim's fleet. Corporal Choi was checking the data they had collected. Sir, you should see this. We recorded everything about the Terek, their weapons, armor, ship capabilities, and weaknesses. Park looked at the information. This will give our fleet a major advantage. The Terek are strong, but now we know how to fight them. Sergeant Lee was treating the wounded soldiers. 3 of the 15 scouts had serious injuries, 2 others had minor wounds. We lost no one, she said with quiet pride. All 15 of us made it out. Park nodded. But we can't celebrate yet. The real battle is still coming. On his command ship, Fleet Commander Grax faced a difficult situation. His forces had suffered heavy losses. The human scouts had destroyed almost half his 1st battalion and damaged part of his 2nd battalion. His best officers were dead and his warriors' morale was low. Status report, he demanded. 712 warriors dead or seriously injured, reported his battle commander. 3 ships damaged while chasing the human vessel. And what do we have to show for it? Grax asked angrily. Nothing, we don't even control the colony. Sub-Commander Velk stepped forward. Sir, our long-range sensors have detected a large group of ships approaching from Earth. They will be here in approximately 29 hours. Grax's 4 eyes narrowed. How many ships? 42, sir. Much more than we expected. Grax thought. Quickly. His fleet had 23 ships. Usually that would be enough to defeat 42 human vessels, but after what happened with the scouts, he wasn't so sure. We need to capture a human for questioning, Grax decided. We must learn more about their capabilities before the fleet arrives. The colony is in ruins, the battle commander reminded him. But our sensors detect human life signs deep underground. They must be hiding in mining tunnels. Send a team to capture some of them, Grax ordered. I want answers. In the deep mining tunnels beneath Europa's surface, Director Bay had organized the 5,000 colonists into a makeshift community. They had food, water, and air for several weeks. They were safe from the aliens for now. Sergeant Lee and 2 of her soldiers had stayed behind to protect the civilians. They had set up defenses at the tunnel entrances. Movement at entrance 3, reported one of Lee's soldiers. The aliens are trying to break through. Lee checked her scanner. About 20 of them. They have heavy equipment. She activated her comm unit. Director Bay, move everyone deeper into the tunnels. We'll hold them here as long as we can. Bay began evacuating the civilians to lower levels. Lee and her 2 soldiers prepared for battle. Remember what we learned about them, Lee told her team. They're stronger than us, but they move in predictable patterns. Use that against them. The aliens broke through the first barrier. They were carrying large drills and plasma cutters. When they saw the 3 human soldiers, they charged forward. Lee and her team fired carefully, aiming for weak spots in the alien armor. 3 Tarek fell, but the others kept coming. "Fall back to position 2, Lee ordered. Her team retreated, down the tunnel to a prepared position. As the aliens followed, they triggered the first trap, sonic emitters hidden in the walls. The high-pitched noise disoriented the Tarek. Some dropped their weapons in pain. Lee's team fired again, taking down more aliens. Then they retreated to position 3, drawing the aliens deeper into the tunnel system. The battle continued for hours. Lee's small team used every trick they had learned. They set traps, used the narrow tunnels to their advantage, and never stayed in one place long enough for the aliens to surround them. In the end, all 20 Tarek warriors were either dead or trapped in collapsed tunnels. Lee's team had survived with only minor injuries. "They'll send more," one of her soldiers warned. Lee nodded grimly. "But we've bought more time. The fleet will be here soon." 29 hours later, Commander Kim's fleet arrived. 42 Earth ships against 23 Tarek vessels. On his command ship, Grax prepared for battle. "They outnumber us, but our ships are stronger. We will crush them." Velk looked concerned. "Sir, the humans have had time to study us. They know our weaknesses now." "It doesn't matter," Grax insisted. "They are still just humans." The battle began. The Earth fleet split into smaller groups, attacking from multiple directions. They didn't fight the way Grax expected. Instead of meeting the Tarek ships head-on, they darted in and out, hitting weak points and then retreating. "They're targeting our engine sections," Velk realized. "How do they know that's where our shields are weakest?" 3 Tarek ships exploded. In the first hour, 5 more were heavily damaged. The Earth fleet had lost only 2 ships. "This is impossible," Grax shouted as his ship shook from another hit. "Sir, we should retreat," Velk urged. "We can return with a larger fleet." Grax knew. Velk was right, but his pride wouldn't let him admit it. "We fight to the end." 2 hours later, Grax's command ship was the only Tarek vessel still fighting. Its engines were damaged and its weapons were failing. 17 of the 23 Tarek ships had been destroyed. The rest had surrendered. "Sir, we have no choice," Velk said firmly. "We must surrender or die." Grax finally accepted defeat. "Send the surrender signal." The Earth ships surrounded the Tarek command vessel. A message came through from Commander Kim. "This is Earth Defense Force, Commander Kim. Your fleet is defeated. Prepare to be boarded." Lieutenant Park stood beside Commander Kim as they entered the Tarek command ship. Tarek warriors lined the walls, their heads bowed in defeat. Fleet Commander Grax and Sub-Commander Velk waited at the end of the corridor. Grax looked angry. Velk looked thoughtful. "I am Commander Kim of the Earth Defense Force," Kim introduced himself. "This is Lieutenant Park, whose scout unit you faced on Europa." Velk's 4 eyes widened. "Scout unit? You mean they were just scouts?" "Yes," Park confirmed. "Standard Earth Defense Scouts. 15 of us." Grax couldn't believe it. 15? You destroyed half my battalion with 15 soldiers? Commander Kim smiled slightly. "Lieutenant Park's unit isn't even our special forces. They're just well-trained scouts doing their job." "Impossible," Grax muttered. "The Tarek Imperium has conquered 12 worlds. We cannot be defeated by scouts." "You were," Park said simply. "Because you underestimated us." Later, as the Tarek leaders signed the peace treaty, Velk approached Park privately. "How did humans become so formidable?" he asked. "You're smaller than us, your planet is younger than ours, yet you fight with more skill than any species we've encountered." Park thought about Earth's long history of warfare, how humans had fought each other for thousands of years, constantly developing new weapons and tactics, how they had learned to adapt, to use speed and intelligence against stronger opponents. "We had to be," Park answered. "On Earth, only the strong, the smart, and the adaptable survive. The universe doesn't give second chances." Velk nodded slowly. "The Tarek will remember this lesson, and we will spread the word to other species. Beware of humans." Even their scouts are deadly. As the Tarek ships departed, Commander Kim turned to Lieutenant Park. You and your team did something remarkable, Kim said. You saved Europa, you gathered crucial information, and you showed the galaxy that humans aren't to be taken lightly. Park shook his head. We were just doing our job, sir, Kim smiled. That's what makes us dangerous, Lieutenant. What other species consider extraordinary, we consider routine. And that was the most terrifying thing about humans. What the Tarak thought was an elite fighting force was just 15 ordinary scouts. Trow. Galaxy would never look at humans the same way again.